Good morning, good afternoon, students. Just now I have sent you the message that you open the page before more about plants. That means, are you seeing the contents? You see this one, contents. In these contents, you please give tick mark that in your midterm exam, oral will be asked and it will be based on 20 marks. 20 marks. Oral. If you want to take support of your parents, you can take so that you can understand and follow after me. In your midterm exam, there will be 3 leveled test. Oral, it will be based on 20 marks, and then MCQ through online, it will also based on 20 marks, and 40 marks for written exam. And regarding oral, let's explain regarding oral. In oral exam, we will ask you through live camera class the questions, and each question carry 2 marks, and I will give you, or other subject teacher will give you 10-second time, only 10-second time for one question, and by that time you have to answer. If you can't, then we will pass to next question. That means 2 marks have gone. So you won't get 2 marks, another 8 marks left, and for that 8 marks we will ask you another 4 questions. So if you can't answer the next question, then again we will pass to third question. So for oral question you will get 10-second time for answering. If you can't, then we will pass on to next question, and your out of 10 your 2 marks will be deducted. Then if you answer the next one, then you will get 2 marks. Understand all of you? Oral exam based on 20 marks, and that should be through live camera class. That should be through live camera class. We will ask you question, you have to give answer, and each question the time is allotted only 10 seconds. If you can answer, then you will get 2 marks. 2 marks for each question. If you won't, then we will pass to next question. That means you won't get these 2 marks. If you answer, then only you will get 2 marks, and the time is 10 seconds. It will be based on 20 marks oral. Now the chapter from which we will ask you oral in science. Chapter 2. Chapter 2, Animals and their adaptation. Chapter 2, Animals and their adaptation. And next one, Food and nutrition. Give tick mark and write oral. 2 and 4. Chapter 2, Animals and their adaptation, and Chapter 4, Food and nutrition. It should be oral. We will ask you oral question from these 2 chapters, and the marks allotted will be 20 marks, and each question will carry 2 marks, and I will, or subject teacher will give you 10-second time. Within that 10 second you have to answer. If you can't, then we will pass to next question and your 2 marks will be deducted. If you can, then we will give you 2 marks. Understand all of you? Next come to MCQ. For MCQ, the chapters will be health and hygiene, 5 and 6. Health and hygiene, you see, health and hygiene, chapter 5 and chapter 6. Chapter 5 and chapter 6. Health and hygiene, safety and first aid. Health and hygiene, safety and first aid. Chapter 5 and chapter 6 will be based on MCQ question. MCQ already you know that through online we will send you question and time will be given, and by that time you have to upload your answer sheet, and if you fail of submitting within time, then marks will be deducted. Then you won't get time, you won't get marks, because you see PT1 exam based on MCQ question, and we have given time, extra time. we have given you extra time because that was first time on online exam for you, but this is second time. You won't do mistake. You please properly yes, write the answer in one page. You have to complete in one page, and at the same time you have to send it by time. If you fail to submit the paper on time, then we won't accept your answer sheet. We won't accept your answer sheet. You will get 0 out of 20. You will get 0 out of 20. Mind it, student, I am for your benefit. I am telling, yeah, it may start from 21st of September. That there are many days for the preparation of your subject. So I am telling you repeatedly that for oral we will ask you from chapter 2 and 2 and 4, and for MCQ based on chapter 5 and chapter 6. So give tick mark chapter 5 and 6 and write MCQ. What is the process of MCQ exam? Through online we will send you MCQ question, and you have time, and there is a time bound. You have to answer in one page and send it the same within the time given. If you fail to submit, no time, extra time will be given. Your marks will be 0, as because you have already practiced in sample paper test and PT1 exam. So I think all of you know the process of MCQ exam. So we, in this time, we won't, no consideration. We won't give any time. Within time, you have to send the answer paper. Otherwise, you will get 0. Now come to written exam. Write chapter 3 and chapter 7. Chapter 3 and chapter 7 will be your for written exam. And what is the process and what are the marks allotted for written exam? You should know that 40 marks is allotted for written exam. Each carry 4 marks. There will be 10 question. 10 into 4 equal to 40. 10 into 4 equal to 40. 10 into 4 equal to 40. You see, for oral 20 marks. For oral 20 marks. For oral 20 marks. Each question carry 2 marks. And for each question time is 10 seconds. 10 seconds. If you can't, then we will deduct 2 marks. We will deduct 2 marks. You won't get marks. If you can, then we will give you 2 marks. Okay? Then come to MCQ. Then come to MCQ. For MCQ, the marks allotted 20 marks. We will send you through WhatsApp MCQ questions. You have to answer within time. That means for MCQ question, what is the time given? You have to finish it in one page. You have to finish it in one page. Only give question mark and write the answer. 2 question mark and write the answer. No need to write the fill in the blank sentence, or no need to write match the following. Only you suppose match the following, number 2 is match the following, and for A, if the answer is like this, you write this. Bas, nothing to write. You have to finish in one page. If anybody will submit 2 pages, then marks will be deducted for the second page. For the second page, mind it. We won't consider this time. We have to be very strict, because sample paper test we have given you time. In PT1 also we have given you time, and somebody have submitted, some students, they have submitted 2 pages, 3 pages, but this time I am telling you repeatedly, you please answer in one page and submit the same within the time. If you are late, then total 20 marks will be deducted. Total 20 marks will be deducted. There will be no consideration of taking time, more time. There will be no consideration of taking more time. Mind it, students. So many days are left, you prepare nicely so that you won't do any mistake. For MCQ, if you won't send your answer sheet in one page, and also if you won't follow the time period, so we will give you time that by that time if you won't send, then you will get 0. No marks will be given. Then come to written exam. For written exam, we will send you question through WhatsApp. There will be a written exam, 40 marks is allotted for written exam. Each question carry 4 marks. That means 4 into 10 question will be there. 4 into 10 equal to 40. Through WhatsApp, we will send you in your group, we will send you the question paper, and you have to write in answer sheet. But don't forget, here also there are some regulation. What is the regulation? Your parents, we will give you the date and time. By that date, without any failure, your parents must come and submit the answer sheet. So don't forget to write your name, roll, if there is roll number, then write roll number, class, subject, and the name of the exam, the name of the school. So I know that all of you are habituated with your written exam, what to write on the top. First of all, you have to write the name, then school name, then your name, then the subject, which class, and date. So you listen, you have to finish the paper and give it to your parents, and he will come to know, because we will issue the date and time, and your parents have to submit the answer sheet in the office by that date following and time. If they failed by any means, then marks, not full marks, I am telling, marks will be deducted. Understand, all of you? I think all of you have followed after me. In written exam, there will be 40 marks, and each question carry 4 marks. So 4 into 10 equal to 40, and the date and time will be given will be sent through WhatsApp. That by that date and time, your parent must come and submit the same in the office. What they will submit? They will submit the answer sheet. In case of failure, that date and time, marks will be deducted from 40. And in that and written exam, you whatever is directed, you please read and reread the directed question, and then write to the point. Answer must be to the point. Understand, all of you? And the chapters from where written exam will the question will come, and the chapters from where oral question we will ask, and for MCQ from where MCQ question will be sent, and you have to give answer within time and send the same by that time. Otherwise the paper will be cancelled. Oral exam carry 20 marks, then MCQ question carry 20 marks, then written exam will carry 40 marks. 40 plus 40, 80, and marks from PT1 will be added, and you will get result out of 100 in each subject, out of 100 in each subject. So I think it is clear to you. So next day again, I will ask you, you may call us, all the subject teacher, for if you can't understand, then you can ask your class teacher. She or he may tell you in detail. So today I am passing to the chapter matter, solid, liquid and gases. The chapter number is 7. The chapter number is 7. Chapter 7. Matter. How many types of matter? Solid, liquid, and gas. All living things. You are also a living thing. Occupy space. All living things. All living things that occupy space. Suppose you are sitting on a chair, that means you are occupying a space, and you are a human being, and you are also a matter. You are also a matter. Whatever you are seeing around you, all are matter. What is you? You are also a matter. You are also a matter. So all living things that occupy space and have mass are called matter. All non-living and living things, including human beings, are made up of matter. Chair, it is also made up of matter called wood. We are also matter because we are made up of this carbohydrate, protein. Already you have read carbohydrate, protein, fats and oils, vitamin, minerals, all are our body made. That is why we are also matter, and we are occupying space. Wherever you are standing, that means sitting, sleeping, you are occupying a space. You are occupying, if you sleep on a bed, that means you are occupying a few space of the cot. That means you are also entitled in matter. The pencil in your hand, the book, the water you drink, and your best friend are all matter. Are all matter. What does matter contain? All matter is made up of tiny particles called molecules. So what are called molecules? All matter, that means we, the chair, ice cream, salt, all are matter that is made up of tiny particles called molecules. All matters, then what we will conclude? That all matters are made up of tiny particles called molecules. Then it may come that in Viva it is a matter, that means from written exam. In the written exam, it may ask that what is called molecule. Then what to write? All matter. I will send you all the notes, but today I am discussing what is called what are called molecules, or what is molecule. All matter is made up of tiny particles called molecules. Some children play with building blocks. That means building blocks is also matter. So they join these together to make different things. So building blocks, you know, there is one play game. So if you join one another, you can make different shapes. So such as house, aeroplane, bus. Just as a building block joined together to form objects, millions of tiny particles join together to form matter. So millions of tiny particles, what are those tiny particles called? Molecules. So in different, now from this line, what you can conclude? That the molecules in aeroplane are not same as the molecules of bus, because you see the shapes are different. In aeroplane, the shapes is different from that of a bus, then from that of a house, because in house the molecules are joined in different way. So so the shape and size depends upon, you see, in case of aeroplane, a big huge size in comparison to bus and house. So how can it be possible? It is possible only due to different types of arrangement of molecules. What are molecules? Molecules is the tiny particles in matter. I think all of you have followed me. Now, millions of tiny particles join together to form a matter. Millions of Underline, millions of tiny particles join together to form a matter. Maybe the arrangement is different. Maybe the arrangement is different. You see, oxygen is a gas, whereas water is a liquid. Oxygen is a gas and water is a liquid. In oxygen, you see, oxygen contains only the same types of particles, small particles. Whenever you will see, oxygen particles will contain no other tiny particles, only oxygen is there, only oxygen is there in oxygen gas. But if you see the air, it is a mixture of gases. If you see that in that mixture, percentage of oxygen is 21, percentage of nitrogen is 78, percentage of carbon dioxide is 0.04. So how can it be possible? Because it is due to, you see, oxygen, simple oxygen. There is no other gas mixed with the oxygen. It is simply contains made up of tiny particles called molecules. But in water, you see, it is the combination of two types of molecules, hydrogen and oxygen. That is why the molecules compound, water is a compound and it is a mixture of gases, hydrogen and oxygen, H2O. And what do you mean by H2O? H2 means hydrogen gas दो part है और oxygen means एक part, only one part. So two molecules of hydrogen combines with one molecule of oxygen. Now here is one question will arise, that then water is not made up of one type of molecule. In water there are two types of molecule, hydrogen and oxygen, hydrogen and oxygen. But if you say that iron, gold, silver, they are made up of single type of molecule, that means if you go on breaking and breaking and breaking, you will get the properties of iron. If you take oxygen and see, only the properties of oxygen is there. But if you take salt, salt is not a molecule, it is a compound, because you see in salt sodium chloride, that means there is sodium molecule and chloride molecule, sodium molecule and chloride molecule. So it is a compound. Sugar is also a compound, because in the sugar may it taste sweet, but there are three different types of molecule, that means carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Carbon is a molecule, hydrogen is a molecule and oxygen is also molecule. But when there is three molecules are there, then it is a compound. But if you break, go on breaking gold, silver, iron, we will get only one type of particle, that is iron, that is only iron. Now come to, so we can, from this we can conclude that what is called matter. Matter is anything what you are seeing surrounding you. That means chair, ice cream, then desk, pencil, all are matter. And you also a matter, because you are occupying a space. And all the matter are made up of tiny particles called molecules. So what is the name of the tiny particles? Molecules. Millions of tiny particles join together to form a matter. Yeah, I told you three examples: aeroplane, bus, and then aeroplane, bus, and house. You see, if you join this building block, you will see huge number of building blocks are required to make an aeroplane. And if you join this building block to make a house, it will take more building block than in comparison to a bus. So what will be the number of particles and what will be the arrangement? Matter depends on it. A molecule of oxygen has all the time the properties of oxygen. Do you know the properties of oxygen? Oxygen supports burning, but it doesn't burn itself. You know that in chapter 1 or 2, I don't know, I've forgotten that, and I'm telling you, oxygen, we breathe in oxygen, and what it helps, it burns the food in the cell so that energy is released, and that energy we are using in different life activities. If we don't have any energy, then we will be weak. If we have energy, then we can play, we can run, we can cycling, all this. So oxygen is necessary for our body all the time till death. We are taking oxygen without any end. You can't feel, but you can feel by holding your nose tightly. You can see you can't stay for a second of time, as because if we close our mouth and nose tightly, then we can't take in oxygen, we can't breathe in air, and from the air what it enters, oxygen in the lungs, oxygen is taken in, and carbon dioxide is given out, which is coming out through our nose during the process of exhalation. So you see, oxygen is the food is the fuel, and for burning this fuel, oxygen is needed, that is taken by the lungs from the air, and what it helps, it burns the food so that energy can released, and that energy we are using for our life activities. And you see, in this oxygen, there is no other property of hydrogen and nitrogen. Only in this molecule of oxygen, you will get the properties of oxygen only. So a molecule of oxygen has all the properties of oxygen. No other property is mixed with the oxygen. So a molecule can be further broken into atoms. A molecule is made up of two or more atoms. You see, all substances are called matter. Matter is anything that has weight and occupied space. That has weight and occupied space. Underline weight and occupied space. Matter exists in three states. There are three forms of matter: solid, liquid, and gas. All these three states of matter occur because of different ways in which the molecules of a substance are arranged. How it is arranged, on the basis of this, the matter depends. How the molecules are arranged. How the molecules are arranged, and based on that, the states of matter depends. So the states of matter depends on which the molecules of a substance are arranged. This will be the answer. Solid. So you see, what are called matter? All living things that occupy space and have mass are called matter. All non-living things, that means chair, ice cream, those who have no life, and living including human beings, plant, animals, are made up of matter. Everything around us is matter. All the material we see in our daily lives, from ice cream to chair to water, are made up of matter. There are three primary states of matter. They are solid, liquid, and gaseous state. All the matter is made up of tiny particles called molecules. Millions of tiny particles join together to form matter. These molecules cannot be seen with naked eyes. With even do you know, we can't see through microscope also. So small that they can't be seen with the naked eyes. खुला आंख में नहीं दिखाई देता है, इवन माइक्रोस्कोप में भी बहुत डिफिकल्ट है. What is called molecule? A molecule is the smallest particle of a substance that has all the properties of a substance. A molecule of oxygen has all the properties of oxygen, and there is no other property of gases. A molecule can be further broken into atoms. So molecule से भी और छोटा particles है जिसको कहा जाता है atoms. So a molecules can be further broken into atoms. A molecule may be made up of two or more atoms. Suppose you see oxygen. A molecule of oxygen, it is the tiny particles of the oxygen gas molecule. Then again, if you break it down, you will get two atoms of oxygen combined together to form one molecule of oxygen. Always it is written as O2. Always it is written as O2. What is the meaning of O2? Because you see, two atoms of oxygen combine to form one molecule of oxygen. What do you understand? H2. Two atoms of hydrogen combine together to form one molecule of hydrogen. H2O, one molecule of water, contains two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen. Sodium chloride, common salt. Here sodium, Na, NaCl2, you see NaCl. Sodium also the example of a compound which contains sodium and chlorine molecule. Now, so we can now explain the matter. Matter is all about you. I told you before, you are also a matter. You are occupying a space. Wherever you sit, you are occupying space. If you sleep, you are also occupying some space on the cot. So, all atoms and compounds are made up of very small pieces of matter. Such atoms, so very small pieces of matter means atoms. Such atoms continue to build the everyday things you see and touch. So you see, in a matter maybe billions or trillions of atoms joined together to form the matter. Matter is defined as that has mass, that means it has volume. Mass means volume, that how much space it has occupied by giving out air. You know that surrounding you, it is filled up with air. There is no space without air. So if you keep your copy here, that means you are displacing some air and occupies the space. You see, there is no air below the copy because it has displaced some air. एक कुछ air को हटा के अपना space ले लिया. So the कितना वो स्पेस एयर को हटाया, कितना स्पेस एयर वो हटाया, वही को बोलता है वॉल्यूम एंड मास. सो मैटर इज डिफाइंड एज एनीथिंग दैट हैज मास, दैट मीन्स इट हैज वॉल्यूम एंड टेक्स अप स्पेस. Change in state of matter alter. Change in states of matter alter the structure of matter and the arrangement. I told you, and the different states of matter are due to the arrangement of molecules of a substance, how it is arranged, how the molecules of a substance are arranged, and based on that there are three states of matter: solid, liquid and gases. Now solid, come to solid. Objects which are hard, iron, you see, chair, you see. So objects which are hard or firm and have a clear shape are called solids and called solid. You see, chair, it has shape, cot, it has shape, table, it has shape, and you see building, it has shape. So in solids there is a why it is this is possible. You see, again you have to remember this line: the arrangement of molecules, how it has been arranged. Molecules, how it has been arranged to give the definite shape in solid. Let us see. In solid, there is strong force of attraction between the molecules. The molecules जितना है उसमें एक का साथ एक एकदम बहुत अच्छा बॉन्डिंग है, बहुत अच्छा bonding है. And in science it is called strong force of attraction between the molecules. So in between molecules there is strong force of attraction that no one can detach from each other. No one can detach from each other. It can be detached only by heating. You see, iron, if you take an iron ball, it is not possible to you to break it. It is not easy to break an iron ball. What to do? You have to give heat. So that after heating in highest temperature, one temperature will come, and that time iron will start melting. And why? Because at that time heat helps to make the molecules separate from each other. Otherwise it is not possible to break an iron ball. So why? Because there is strong force of attraction between the molecules. You know, matter is made up of tiny particles called molecules, and it is not possible to separate easily all the molecules of an solid particle. So the molecules in solid are closely packed with each other. There is no space between the molecules. So the strong forces of attraction made them no space between them. There will be no space between the two molecules. They are so tightly packed. So they cannot move around. They can't move due to the strong force of attraction between molecules. That is why solid has definite shape, size and volume. Shape, size and volume. Shape, size and volume. Sorry for interruption, students. Now you see, so you have to remember this line: solid have definite shape, size and volume. You have to remember, solid have definite shape, size and volume. It is possible due to the strong force of attraction between the two molecules, So there is no space between the molecules. They cannot be moved around due to the strong force of attraction. Now come to liquid. Substance such as water, you see, which can be poured. If you pour some water on the floor, you see water has this property that it will flow from upper level to lower. That means down to the land, down to the floor it will move. So how it is possible? You see, only if you pour water into a bottle or into a container, it will take the shape of that container. It will take the shape of container. But if it gets chances, whenever it will get chance, you see, if you pour a mug of water on the floor, it will flow downwards. As because it is liquid, and here the force of attraction between the molecules is less than that of solid. The force of attraction between the molecules is less than that of solid. That is why and there is some space between them. That is why there are some space between the molecules. You know, water is a compound, hydrogen and oxygen, 2 atoms of hydrogen. That means 2 atoms of hydrogen combines with 1 atom of oxygen. So you see, and as because it is a liquid, there are some space between the two molecules. H2O between two molecules. That is why liquid do not have any definite shape what the solid has. They flow from higher level to lower level. When left in open or take the space of the vessel in which they are kept, they occupied that space by the molecules remain the same. When the flow from higher level to a lower level, when left in the open, when left, if you pour a mug of water, I told you open, it has a tendency to flow from higher level to lower level, but it takes the space of the vessel in which they are kept. If you keep the water in a bottle, it will take the shape of the bottle. If you keep water in a tub, it will take the shape of the tub. So the space occupied by the molecules remain the same. There will after pouring in the bottle, they can't change the shape. They can't change the shape. So liquid has a definite volume. So liquid has a definite volume, but they don't have definite shape. It only takes the shape of the container. That is why we can say that liquid have a definite, underlying definite volume, but they don't have any shape, as because the space, there is some space between the molecules in water. In water, you see here, there are spaces. These are the water molecules, and you see there are spaces. And one thing, you take half glass of water. At home, you please do in real fact that you take half glass of water and you mix some sugar or some salt. You will see afterwards, after stirring the water with salt or sugar, you will see there is no increase in volume. The same, and the volume will be same. Why? Because you see there are intermolecular spaces between water molecule. You see hydrogen and water, there are spaces. So in that spaces is occupied by the salt molecule or sugar molecule. That is why there is no change in volume. But if you dip a spoon inside this half glass of water, you will see definitely there is some rise of the volume of the water inside the glass. Why? Because you see the spoon is solid, it can't take the space between the water molecules, so the volume has been increased. The volume has been increased. If you dip your finger also, you can see in a half glass of water, you will see there is the change in volume. Why? Because your finger can take place between the space of the water molecules, but there is no change in volume if you put some sugar or salt in water, because after stirring you will see that they have occupied the space between the water molecules, between the water molecules. So from this, what we can conclude, that water has no definite shape, but it has definite volume. And as because if we pour water on an open floor, you will see the water will flow from higher level to lower level. And if we pour this water in a glass or in a bottle, it takes the shape of the bottle. That means it has definite volume. Now come to gas. Substance which are in air, like form that is neither solid or liquid, which are gases. Gases, bindas. There is not a single unit of force of attraction between the two molecules. There are you see all the spaces surrounding us is filled up with air. Air is a mixture of gases, and as it is oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, all are gases, so they have no attraction between them. So there is no force of attraction between the molecules of gases. The molecules in a gas are far apart. They are moving all the time. The molecules are moving. They can freely move about in any direction. You see, they can freely move about in any direction. When kept in a closed container, they take up all the space around. So just like water, you see, only half glass means half glass. That means they have taken the full bottle. That means full bottle. That means they have taken a definite shape, definite volume of the container. But that means their molecules, that molecules remain the same after pouring in a glass or in a bottle. But in case of gases, the smaller particles, that means molecules, are moving around, they are free to move in any direction. They are free to move in any direction. That is why you see the molecules, some are on the top, some are below, some are here, some are in the middle. They are free, they are freely moving. When kept in a closed container, they take up all the space. If we put small amount of gas in a closed container, you will see whole container is filled up with that gas, because molecules are free to move. They are moving freely in the container. There is no force of attraction between the molecules. The space between the molecules are keeps on changing. The space between the molecules are keeps on, sometimes here and sometimes here. You see, also keeps on changing. Hence, they neither have definite shape nor do they have any volume. The gases, they don't have any shape nor they don't have any definite volume. I think all of you have followed after me. And you see, up to gases, up to gas. So I'm sending today the study material through WhatsApp. This much is all for today, and next day I will finish it. Nothing is left. Melting, all these are how the changes of matter takes place. What are the processes? Condensation, evaporation, and melting. These are left, and today I'm sending you all the study material, and including the science batch question answer. So this much is all for today, and students, you please get prepared for your midterm exam, because you know that there will be a question of promotion and detention if you get poor marks. So this much is today, and you please request your parents to clear the school tuition fee up to at least up to August, or if they can clear up to September also. Otherwise you will find problem in midterm exam. Thank you.